welcome everyone. And we have got our creator spotlight tonight, and we are spotlighting Doyle Banks. And so, Doyle, let me go ahead and you got that. Oh, thanks, Tim. So, Doyle helps individuals, couples, families, and businesses reduce stress. Who doesn't have stress? And strain and conflict so they can enjoy greater safety, security, and stability in their personal and professional relationships. Through a blend of mindfulness habits, empathy skills, and goodwill mindset, Doyle guides clients to communicate with clarity, empowering them to create relationships they love from the bedroom to the boardroom and beyond. Tonight, Doyle presents his course, The Empathy Advantage Fundamentals. So, Doyle, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Sandra, and Tim, and everyone. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to share. It's really exciting to get to present this course that I've been using to help hundreds and hundreds of folks in every area of life to do just what Sandra shared in terms of creating relationships that they they love, as I said, or as Sandra read, from the bedroom to the boardroom and beyond. So I'm going to share some slides or see if I can here. And let's see. I don't want to do that. It's not finding the screen I'm wanting to share. Bear with me here. Sorry about that.
No
I'll
worries.
just
We can always
try.
edit this for you, Doyle. No worries.
Let me just try this and see what happens here. So I'm going to switch. All right. Are you able to see that, the slides?
Got a black screen.
Yeah, it's a black screen. Not sure if it hasn't come through yet
Okay, so
or.
that's not working. Stop share. I don't know if Zoom switched up something on me.
You can do that sometimes. Sometimes it's a little difficult.
Okay, let's try this again.
Okay, now you're sharing your Zoom yourself in the picture. So you're
Right.
sharing a screen. It's just not quite the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Stop sharing. I've done this dozens of times before. I don't know why it's not finding the screen I
You have
want to
your
share.
PowerPoint open and in presentation mode. It should be pretty easy to find if it's in presentation mode. It will usually pop up.
Yeah, I'm using Keynote. I don't know if that.
Shouldn't make a difference. If it's open on a screen, it should pick it up.
Let's see here. Oh, I apologize. Oh, here we go.
Okay. It happens sometimes, Doyle. So
Okay, thanks.
happens to the best of us sometimes. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, the real fun ones are when it's in front of a great big summit and you've got 2,000 people.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Ah. Okay, I think I got it now.
The other option is if you want to send it to one of the others who are co-hosting, they can click on it for you.
Yeah, that's true too.
Okay.
And I can just share the screen of the course on the platform and you can just talk about it too. So there's options. We got options.
Okay. It's not-
Thank you,
All
everyone,
right,
for
let
being
me,
patient. Technical issues are always not.
okay. So how should I send that to you? Just
If you can just
throw
email
it
it.
in the chat?
Yeah. Oh, you can throw it in the chat. Yes, absolutely. Throw it in the chat.
Okay.
And just right click and share, and then should be able to grab the link and drop it in.
It might be too big.
Let's see
You could
what-
try it.
Yeah, let's try it. That'd be the quickest way.
Okay.
How about if I play the trailer on your course while you're doing that? And
Okay.
that'll give the
Like,
people kind of a preview of what they're going to see. How about that, guys?
That'd be a good
okay.
start, Sandra.
Okay. All right. Can you guys all see the course, the Empathy Advantage Fundamentals? Let's go ahead. And Tim, I did share my sound. So here we go.
What if one simple shift could transform your relationships at home, at work, even with complete strangers? What if, instead of frustration, misunderstanding, and disconnect, you had clarity, confidence, and deeper connection? Welcome to the Empathy Advantage online course, a step-by-step guide to mastering the one skill that will change every relationship in your life: the ability to truly listen and be heard. Inside this course, you'll uncover hidden patterns that may have been keeping you stuck, old habits of thinking, speaking, and reacting that create disconnection instead of the understanding you crave. And when you recognize those patterns, that's your breakthrough moment, because what you can see, you can change. You'll learn how to create meaningful relationships based on respect, understanding, and trust, whether it's with your spouse, your kids, your colleagues, or even the person at the grocery store. No more feeling unheard or misunderstood. You'll master clear, confident conversations that prevent conflicts and bring people closer. This course isn't just about communication. It's about creating a life where you feel seen, valued, and truly connected. So, set your intention, step into this journey, and discover the empathy advantage, because when you transform the way you connect, you transform your life. Enroll today and start building the relationships you have always wanted.
All right. Very good. And I have got the power the thing here. Let's see if I can get that open. Let's see if it's going to open. So it's a dot key.
That was already enrolling.
Yes. What do I open that way?
You might have to save it in a different format.
Mm,
I think Key is a Mac.
All right.
I
Yeah.
can't ever open anything Key. It has to be saved as a PowerPoint or PDF.
Right.
Let me
Yeah,
see.
well, maybe
Okay.
you can just kind of walk through it. We'll share the link. You just talk.
Yeah.
I think we'll
Oh,
get it. We found
okay.
the trailer, and we'll lead everybody to the course. They can go check it out.
Yeah.
All right. So, as you saw in the trailer there, this is about being able to connect, and when we get disconnected, figure out how to reconnect, get back to a state where we can really hear each other and communicate what's going on inside of us without having to yell or jump up and down or do the things that sometimes we end up doing when we don't know any better. A little quick background: I grew up in a really tumultuous home, and what I learned was, if you're not heard, get louder. And that carried on with me into adult life. And before too long, I realized I'm not getting what I need easily. And people are telling me that they're not getting what they need from me. So eventually I realized I need a different way to communicate, need better communication skills. So as I started doing my own personal work, getting some therapy and reading books and all of the things, I started learning what I called four powers. And it's the power of choice, the power of mindfulness, the power of empathy, and the power of love. So all of this is included in each module in the course, or there's a module for each of these in the course, I should say. So the power of choice is really about realizing that for each thought, word, and action, I can make a choice. I can say something or create thought habits that are negative, hurtful, uh, unclear, and get a certain result or lack of result. Or I can start learning how to choose positive thoughts, kind words, and kind actions. And surprise, surprise, I get much different, much better results. This was a huge breakthrough for me, because when I first heard this idea that I could choose my thoughts, I could even choose my emotions, I thought, well, I won't tell you what I actually thought, but I wasn't buying it. And so I did start practicing. Okay, what happens if I choose something different than what I've been choosing? And like I said, started getting different results, much better results. And then I learned about mindfulness, about being able to really pay attention moment by moment, not just, some people practice learning mindfulness using techniques like meditation or prayer or what have you. But the idea is to take what we learn in prayer or on the meditation cushion and use it in real life from moment to moment. And what I began to realize was that the more I pay attention to what choice I'm going to make, the more I pay attention to what is really happening inside of me or what the other person is trying to communicate to me, I hear better, I can communicate better, and so on. Then I learned about the power of empathy, and uh, what I found, or actually my late best friend recommended to me, was a book called Nonviolent Communication, A Language of Life. It was written by the late Marshall Rosenberg, and he developed this system. He was a psychologist and developed this system to use empathy as a skill. And what it really boils down to is paying attention to either internally, if I'm going to offer empathy to myself, what am I feeling in response to something that has happened? If it's a negative feeling, then that's telling me there's something I'm wanting or something that I need that's not being met. So, example could be I'm noticing I'm feeling kind of agitated, a little cranky. Well, maybe my body needs some food or water. So I go get a good drink of water or go get a snack, a healthy snack, and boom, I feel better. Or maybe I'm feeling kind of lonely. That's telling me I need some connection, some companionship. Maybe I need to go out for an evening with one of my friends. Or in a situation where someone else is trying to communicate to me, they might be telling me very loudly what they don't like about me. And I can react to that and push back, or I can put on what Marshall called my giraffe ears. And what that means is I can really pay attention to what's this person actually trying to tell me that they feel. And maybe they're upset or frustrated or irritated, annoyed. All right, I've got that information. Now, what is that telling me that they need? And they may not be able to tell me, so I can make a guess. Are you annoyed because maybe you're wanting some respect from me, or any of a number of other possibilities? And it doesn't really matter if I make the right guess, because if it's not quite what they're needing, they will almost always come back and tell me what they need. And they don't have to know about nonviolent communication. By the way, that's also called compassionate communication, which I like that term a little better. So, empathy, I can pay attention to my own feelings and needs and pay attention to what other people are telling me that they feel and need. That, when we connect those dots with the feelings to the needs, it the way I explain it is empathy. That is empathy. It's the skill that we can learn, and that unlocks our wonderful capacity as human beings for compassion. Sometimes people think empathy is the same as compassion. I don't uh, teach that. And I teach what I just said is it's the key that unlocks compassion. A beautiful definition of compassion that the Buddha used way back thousands of years ago was that it is the quivering of the heart in response to the pain of another person or being. And I love that quivering of the heart. If you've ever been out in a mall or in a store and you've heard a little child who got lost from their parents cry out, that's the sound of that cry. And doesn't your heart just quiver and you want to go help them? Or maybe you're driving down the road and you see somebody pulled off with a flat tire or car problems, and your heart kind of does that little quiver of, oh gosh, I hope they're okay, or hope they can get some help, or if you feel safe enough, maybe you pull over and try to help. Then we've got the power of choice, the power of mindfulness, the power of empathy, and that leads us or builds us up into the power of love. And I don't think of love as a sentimental, gushy, romantic kind of feeling. I think of it more as an action, a verb, right? Something that we live out in our lives. And part of love is being honest, being in integrity in our lives, having compassion for others, being kind. and it's how we interact with one another if we choose to. So when we have those four powers in whatever combination, that gives us what I call the empathy advantage. And that's not about taking advantage of someone or powering over, putting people underneath us, but it's really about connecting, about sharing with each other, about being able to get the help that we need, the support that we need when we need it in ways that don't create conflict. And it's about being able to offer, to contribute to other people's needs. Or as Marshall Rosenberg loved to say, it's a way of making life more wonderful for ourselves and one another. And I've always loved that definition. So what I want to let you know about tonight is that you can get the course. It's normally $297, and I've uh, put a discount. I learned how to do discounts on TGD. So there's a 50% off discount in effect right now through Friday, the end of the day Friday. And you can get it for $147.50. There were a couple of things I wanted to share with you, those of you who are affiliates. I wanted to share a couple of things that you could communicate to your audience about the benefits for them. One is that they can learn how to clearly communicate with less conflict. In other words, when they learn these powers and put them into use, they can communicate what they need without fights or without shutting down and without regretting. We've probably all had at least one situation in our lives where we've said things that we later regretted. When you learn and get the empathy advantage, there's a lot less of that that happens in life. They will get emotional steadiness under pressure and be able to stay grounded and choose their responses rather than just reacting out of old habits. And then they'll be able to enjoy deeper connection everywhere that it matters. And it really matters everywhere. So we can build trust and respect and real connection at home and work and wherever else. And then for you as affiliates, you get to enjoy some predictable ethical revenue by promoting this evergreen course that solves a real problem. It helps you build trust and authority with your audience by recommending something that genuinely helps people. And then, of course, it increases the lifetime value of that customer or that affiliate. And then each time that you offer something new or something else gives you a better chance of getting a yes in response. So I'm not sure how we're doing on time, but if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to give you an answer.
Perfect timing, Doyle. That was great. You did awesome. So we'll open it up to questions, guys. Any questions, comments, anything? I put the discount link I put the link to Doyle's course is in the chat. And then I also put the link to the discount. So if you just click on that discount, log into your account, click on that discount, and you'll be able to put that right into the shopping cart. And Doyle, you did a great job on your discount. I checked it out for you before. I hope you got my email back. So I wanted to make sure that
thank you.
Good. I want to make sure that you saw that. And you did it. You did great. Even with all the technical stuff, that was really, really great. I have a comment for you. I have something I want to add. In my younger years, I worked in a very, we'll say, rough environment, corporate America, rough environment. And you had to have very, very thick skin. And I was young in my career. And so I picked up that way of communicating because it was a loud communication environment. If you did not speak up, you were not heard. And what happened is I started to just speak loudly and I didn't listen. And I learned that over time, when I left that environment, that I talked over people, I walked over people, and I had to learn to stop doing that. I had to learn mindfulness. I had to learn how to listen again. And so it took some time and it took some effort, but it was one of the best things that I ever did for myself, for the people around me, for my career. It's not that I was a horrible person, but I just became a product of my environment, is what happened.
Right.
And the
Right.
second thing I want to add is this. I'm a person who came from, my mother especially loves to fix things. Doesn't matter if you want me to fix it or not, I'm going to try and fix it. And so when somebody would come to me with a problem, a lot of times people just want you to listen. And I would immediately start to try and solve their problems. And they're like, but I don't want, they get frustrated at me. And I'm like, I'm just trying to help. And all they wanted me to do was listen. And so again, I've had to really work on my listening skills, and I do every day. I have to learn to listen, and I use prayer. But that is the way that I get through it. But I wanted to add those two things and just let everybody know this that Doyle is talking about is so relevant, and I love that you pulled in how the affiliates can use this, because when you're selling, you have got to learn these tactics. You've got to learn these to be able to connect with people. Otherwise, you're just not going to connect. So thank you for that. That was
Yeah.
actually really, really great. So
Well, thank you. That is those are such great examples. I'll just share a quick story. Those of you who are pen aficionados will recognize this is a Mont Blanc brand pen.
Mhm.
This is a 500 and some dollar pen.
Mhm.
I am not rich enough yet to buy myself $500 pens, but I'll tell you how I got it. So I just started learning the compassionate communication. I was working in IT, corporate environment like you, Sandra,
Mhm.
and um, I was in the service area, so I would go out to the field and work with the customers to get the IBM equipment that our company sold set up and working. And we had account executives. So I had gotten assigned to this account executives project and customer. Apparently, I had said something that the customer heard differently and got upset about. And instead of them, you know, talking it through with me, they called the account exec, and just reamed him. So the next day, I get a call from him, and as soon as I answer the phone, he lights into me. Yeah, I mean, he's just livid, telling me he's got a $1.5 million riding on this deal, another 2.5 million waiting on a follow-up deal if the customer doesn't throw us out. And he's just going, at me over and over and over, telling me he's got kids to put through college and, how important this is. So I just listen and listen. And I would say, every once in a while, I would say, I'm hearing you. I get it. And finally, after a while, and you've probably experienced this, when you listen, they'll get enough steam out of their system that they kind of quiet down. And this guy did. And I said, "Can I tell you something?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "I want the same things you want. I want the customer to be happy. I want you to be happy with this deal. I want it to work for all of us because we all win. And I just want you to know that I'm on your side." And he just started apologizing all over himself. And I said, I don't really want you to apologize. I don't want you to feel badly. I just want you to know that I'm on your team. So a couple of days later, UPS shows up, knocks on the door, says, I need you to sign for this package. And I signed for it. And it's this beautiful pen and a $250 American Express gift card. And I had no idea that the sales or the account people, did that or could do that. But it was just such a wonderful thing to have happen. And then after that, every time he started asking for me to be assigned to his customer projects, and when he would introduce me to the customer, it was downright embarrassing because he would just go on and on about Doyle's our best consultant and blah, blah, blah. The point is, though, that by just being willing to listen, to be kind in my response, and to take the time to connect with him as a human being, totally transformed that relationship.
Yeah, I believe it, Doyle. I absolutely believe it. I have been through the same type of thing. I didn't get a pen though, or the Amex gift certificate. That's a nice pen. I love those Mont Blocks. Those are very, very nice pens. So congratulations for that. That's awesome. All right. Well, we are at the bottom of the hour. Any more questions or comments for Doyle, guys?
Great job, Doyle. Nice recovery there too. And so we'll edit this all up for you, wrap it nice and tight, and you'll have
Thank you. If I could just throw out, if anyone does want to reach out to me, especially if you're a coach, relationship coach or what have you, and would be interested in collaborating, just shoot an email to me at Doyle, Doyle, at doylebanks.com, Doyle at doylebanks.com.
That's great. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Doyle.
Thank you.
And
I wanted to say one other thing when you were mentioning that there is a big difference between compassion and empathy. I just learned that, I was this year's old last year. And I confused compassion in my marriage and thought there was empathy there, and there was not. And that was a huge learning. So I love that you made that point because it's absolutely huge.
Thanks, Tammy.
You're welcome.
All right.
Well,
Thanks
thank
again.
you, everyone. Yes, thank you, Doyle. Thank you, everyone. And we will be back here again at 8 o'clock tomorrow night for our affiliate presentation. We will hope to see you then, guys. Have a great rest of your night. Okay.